I just texted Anthony, so let's get started. Just get started and
Yeah,
then.
we're good. We're good. Okay, good morning, teachers and students. My name is Natalie, and welcome to South Coast AQMD's Why Healthy Air Matters program, or WHAM. Thank you for joining us for our live WHAM virtual event today. The purpose of this program is to reach students like you, joining us across Los Angeles, Orange, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties to teach you about the importance of clean air. Our hope is to increase awareness of air quality issues within the South Coast Basin and empower you all to make positive changes that can help clean the air that we breathe. Today, we are going to learn about health impacts from air pollution, sources that cause it, and effects that weather in our geographic region have on air quality. After watching this video, you're all going to compete in a live Kahoot contest to put your knowledge to the test. But before we do that, we have a special guest, Monica Kim, who is a senior public staff specialist at AQMD, who will be sharing some information about what she does and how South Coast AQMD is working to improve our air quality. Welcome, Monica.
Thanks, Natalie. Hi, everyone. It's great to be here. Again, my name is Monica Kim, and I'm a senior staff specialist at South Coast AQMD. I want to thank you all for joining us today for this webinar. So a little bit about myself. I've been with South Coast AQMD for about 6 years now, and I started off as an intern when I was in college, and I had such a great experience that I knew I had to come back. For me, I find this work really rewarding, and as I'm sure you're all aware, our resources are not infinite, and our planet is not indestructible, and it's really up to us to take care of it. So I know you're all in middle school now, and college and jobs and internships, all of that probably seems really far away. But I really encourage you all to think about making a difference and working in the environmental field someday. You don't even have to be good at math or science. There are lots of different ways that you can join the fight for clean air and for our planet. I myself was a communication major at UC Davis. So you really can do anything and end up helping to clean the air. So next slide, please. So what is South Coast AQMD? So we are the regional clean air agency for a 4-county region in Southern California. And this area covers over 10,000 square miles and includes all of Orange County and most of Los Angeles, San Bernardino, and Riverside counties. So we employ about 800 employees, and that includes scientists, planners, engineers, and inspectors who are all working hard every single day to help clean the air that we breathe. And in this area, we also have nearly 17 million residents. And to put that into perspective, that's about half the population of the state of California, or more people than the 5th biggest state in the United States, which is Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvania has nearly 13 million people. And of course, with so many people, we also have a lot of vehicles. And so we have over 12 million vehicles, including hundreds of thousands of diesel vehicles. So this region is also home to the twin ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach, where more than 30% of the nation's containerized goods enter. And so that means that the shoes that you wear, the clothes that you're wearing, your backpacks, all of those things, they probably came through one of those ports. Next slide, please. So now you're probably wondering, what does South Coast AQMD do? And how do we clean the air that we breathe? So firstly, we regulate stationary sources. And so you'll learn more about stationary sources soon, but in a nutshell, a stationary source is a source of air pollution that does not move. We issue permits to these businesses, and we also go out on inspections to make sure that they are following the rules and are in compliance. We also engage the public, and so we go out, take complaints, and investigate them. We also spread awareness on air quality issues through programs like WHAM, which is why you're all here today. So we are a science-based agency that is focused on public health. And so we do a lot of air quality monitoring and analysis, and we do special studies on health effects and the impacts of air pollution. And we also research, develop, and demonstrate new technologies that will help clean the air. Next slide, please. What are some of the things that we can do individually to help clean the air? So one of the most important ways that you can help us is by memorizing this phone number. So the phone number is 1-800-CUT-SMOG. Pretty easy, right? 1-800-CUT-SMOG. So if you see a lot of smoke or dust or smell really strong odors, you can give us a call and we'll check it out to make sure that everything is okay. You can also try to reduce your energy use when possible. And, I'm not saying miss your favorite TV shows or anything, but just to turn off the lights when you leave a room or turn off the TV when you're not actively watching. And reusing and recycling items is also another great way to make a difference. And I personally love reusing items, and it's actually become so bad that my entire family is accusing me of having a hoarding habit. But here are some ideas that I personally use. So I love using empty jam jars to store little trinkets like my jewelry, coins, or even to act as a makeshift planter. And so I have hundreds of those. It's really a problem. And finally, you can check your air quality daily. So when the air quality isn't good, you can make an informed decision on whether to go outside or not. And so you can do this on the South Coast AQMD website, which is aqmd.gov. Or if you have a cell phone, you can download our app with your parents' permission. So that's all from me today. And again, thank you so much for coming to our webinar and for listening to me speak. And I know we now have a video and a contest to get to. So back to you, Natalie.
Thank you so much, Monica. That was really insightful. Now it is time for a video about what air pollution is and how it spreads.
Hi, welcome to the Why Healthy Air Matters program, also known as WHAM. My name is Leslie Rodriguez, and I work at South Coast AQMD, a local regulatory agency responsible for reducing air pollution. Today, we are going to talk about the air that we all breathe. What comes to mind when you hear the words air pollution? Air pollution is a mixture of gases and small particles in the air that can be harmful to our health and well-being. Each and every one of us should care about air pollution because it affects all of us, including our families and our friends. Mild health effects caused by air pollution include irritated eyes, coughing, or wheezing. More serious health issues include asthma attacks, cancer, or even heart disease. Children and elderly people are more susceptible to health problems related to air pollution, but when pollution levels are very high, everyone can be affected. The good news is that air quality has improved over the last several decades due to regulations by government agencies and people like you and me who make clean air choices such as walking or biking. Do you know who is responsible for cleaning the air we breathe? That would be the South Coast Air Quality Management District, also known as South Coast AQMD for short. South Coast AQMD is the local regulatory agency for major portions of Los Angeles, Orange, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties, including the Coachella Valley. South Coast AQMD develops and enforces air pollution rules, monitors and analyzes air quality, researches, develops, and deploys new technologies like electric cars and trucks, responds to air quality complaints, and provides information to the public about air pollution and how it can affect our health. The South Coast AQMD has a governing board of 13 people appointed to lead our agency. They meet monthly to adopt policies and regulations to promote clean air. Anybody from the public, including you, can come before the board and share your opinions. Now let's shift our attention to where all the air pollution in our region comes from. Our region has over 12 million vehicles, including hundreds of thousands of diesel trucks and is home to the two busiest seaports in the United States, which are responsible for receiving and moving nearly 1/3 of the nation's goods. That means the clothes, shoes, electronics, and other things we buy that come from overseas often begin their journey here in the South Coast Air Basin and make their way to the shelves of stores at your local mall and throughout the U.S. by cargo ships, trains, trucks, and airplanes. All of this activity creates air pollution. People living in the South Coast Air Basin and Coachella Valley are greatly affected by air pollution coming from many different sources. The federal government sets requirements for healthy air, and our agency is responsible for meeting them. We are responsible for 6 pollutants and currently do not meet the requirements for 2 of them. These 2 pollutants are particulate matter and ozone, commonly known as smog. We'll learn more about these pollutants in other lessons. There are a few categories of air pollution: greenhouse gases, which have global impacts, criteria pollutants, which have a regional impact, and toxics, which have localized impacts. All these categories of air pollution come from different places or sources. Our agency focuses on criteria pollutants and toxic pollutants, and much of our efforts also help reduce greenhouse gases. South Coast AQMD is responsible for controlling pollution primarily from stationary sources. Do you know what a stationary source is? A stationary source is a source of pollution that does not move, such as power plants, factories, and refineries. Stationary sources make up approximately 10% of the air pollution in our region. Area sources are small sources of air pollution which by themselves may not emit very much, but when their emissions are added together, can make up a large portion of the total emissions. In our region, they make up another 10% of the basin's air pollution and can come from some of our daily activities such as painting, barbecuing, and using a wood-burning fireplace. Lastly, the largest contributors to air pollution in our region are mobile sources. A mobile source is a source of air pollution that moves, such as cars, trucks, buses, trains, planes, ships, and construction equipment. Mobile sources make up 80% of the air pollution in our region. Another factor leading to our air pollution issues is the natural land formations or topography and weather in our region. We have a coast with cool ocean breezes, mountain ranges, and sunshine almost year-round. The mountain ranges and ocean breezes trap air pollution in the region. Often, a layer of hot air over our area acts as a lid and prevents our air pollution from mixing with clean air higher in the atmosphere. The trapped air pollutants include nitrogen oxides, also known as NOx, and volatile organic compounds, also known as VOCs, are then cooked under the sun, which then forms ozone and particulate matter. As you can guess, smog is worse on hot days with lots of sun, as well as days where there isn't a lot of wind. How can you tell if the air is healthy each day? If you're like many people, you might check outside to see how clear the sky is. However, while you might be able to see some pollution, there are other pollutants we can't see that may be present even when the sky appears to be clear. The best way to check air pollution levels is to use the Air Quality Index, or AQI. The AQI chart can tell you how healthy or unhealthy the air is. It runs on a scale from 0 to 500 and is calculated based on 5 major pollutants: ground level ozone, particle pollution, carbon monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, and sulfur dioxide. The higher the number, the more pollution is in the air. The AQI is color-coded, which makes it easier to determine whether air quality is reaching unhealthy levels. As you can see, when the AQI value is between 0 to 50, the air is good. When the AQI is at this level, air pollution poses little or no risk. When AQI values reach 100 and above, air quality is considered to be unhealthy for sensitive groups, such as kids and grandparents. As the numbers get higher, more and more people can be affected. Look at the AQI chart your teacher has provided, or download one from the South Coast AQMD's WHAM webpage. After you finish watching this video, you will go to our website, check the current air quality in your area, and fill out the chart. You will be keeping track of the air quality every day of this project. Your teacher will wrap up the lesson by taking you through a Google Earth virtual tour and scavenger hunt. Stay tuned for an experiment that demonstrates how pollution is formed in the South Coast Air Basin. Let's try an experiment to demonstrate how ozone is formed in the South Coast Air Basin. Here's what you'll need. 1 clear plastic cup, honey, light corn syrup, and red dish soap. You can make red dish soap by combining red food coloring and clear dish soap. First, we will pour a layer of honey into the clear plastic cup. This represents the polluted air at the surface where all the emission sources are. Some of this air pollution comes from area sources and stationary sources, but the majority of it comes from mobile sources, which we talked about earlier. Next, pour a layer of corn syrup on top of the honey. This represents the layer of warm air over the surface that prevents mixing with the upper atmosphere. Finally, pour the colored dish soap on top. This represents the atmosphere over the inversion, which is usually cleaner than the air at the surface. As you may recall, our basin is surrounded by mountains, which creates a bowl effect. The air pollution is pushed inland by winds coming off the ocean. It is then halted by the mountains and trapped by a layer of hot air, which means that all of the pollution is kept from being released into the atmosphere. That's all for today's lesson. I hope you learned a lot, and remember, we can all help in the fight for clean air. Thanks for joining us today. See you next time.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you all paid attention to the video because it's now time for some friendly competition. On the screen, you will see the information for the Kahoot contest shortly. Teachers, please take this time to join with your classrooms or have your students join with their own devices. Students, if you are joining on your own device, please enter with your first name and last initial. Anyone who does not follow these guidelines will be removed from the game room. We will give everyone about 2 minutes and then we will get started. Remember, if you're going to join the game room, just first name and last initial, please. All right, we're going to give it about 20 more seconds and then we will get started. All right, I think we can go ahead and get started. First question, please. Question number 1. Let's see what it is. True or false? Irritated eyes, coughing, and wheezing are all examples of mild health effects caused by air pollution. Is this true or is this false? Irritated eyes, coughing, and wheezing are all examples of mild health effects caused by air pollution. Looks like we have about 5 seconds left. Make sure to get your answers in. That is right. Most of you got it correct. It is true. Let's see the leaderboard. All right, looks like Rifo is in first place currently. Next question, please. Another true or false question. Poor air quality can cause heart disease. Is this true or is this false? Poor air quality can cause heart disease. All right, again, looks like everyone got it correct. It is true. Geraldine R. is now in first place. Let's go to the next question. What type of pollution is the South Coast Air Quality Management District in charge of regulating? Is it water? Is it smog? Is it air? Or is it soil? What type of pollution is the South Coast Air Quality Management District in charge of regulating? Make sure to get your answers in before the time runs out. Oh, this one was a little tricky. It is air pollution. Smog is a type of air pollution that South Coast AQMD regulates. Let's see who's on the leaderboard. David's Tacos in first place. Next question, please. Which county is not included in South Coast AQMD's jurisdiction? This was a map in the video. Is it Los Angeles? Is it Orange? Is it San Bernardino? Or is it Ventura County? Which county is not included in South Coast AQMD's jurisdiction? Let's see how many of you got it right. Wow, a lot of you did. Ventura County is not included in South Coast AQMD's jurisdiction. The county missing here is Riverside County. All right, next question, please. David's Taco still in first place. Area sources contribute to what % of air pollution in our region? This one is a little difficult. Is it 5%? Is it 0%? Is it 35%? Or is it 10%? Area sources contribute to what % of air pollution in our region? All right, let's see here as time runs out. Wow, okay, this one was a little trickier, but it is 10% is the correct answer. Area sources are 10% of air pollution in our region. Let's see the leaderboard here. Alea R now is in first place with a few people really close behind. Let's see if they can keep up their streak. All right, question number 6. What is not an example of a mobile source? Is it a power plant, a plane, a car, or a bus? Remember, this is not an example of a mobile source. So which one does not belong? Power plant, a plane, a car, or a bus? Wow, looks like a lot of people got that one correct. Power plant is not a mobile source. All the other three are, though. Let's go on to the leaderboard, please. Alea R still in first place. Let's see if you can keep it all the way to the end. What source of air pollution does South Coast AQMD primarily regulate? Is it mobile sources, area sources, stationary sources, or natural sources? What source of air pollution does South Coast AQMD primarily regulate? All right, let's see as time runs out here. Oh, this one was tricky. South Coast AQMD is in charge of regulating stationary sources, not mobile sources. All right, let's see the leaderboard. Jackie C is now in first place. Wow, that question was really tricky for some of you. All right, let's go to the last question. This is another true or false. One of the best ways to see if it's a good way to go outside is by checking the air quality index, or the AQI. Is this true or is this false? One of the best ways to see if it's a good day to go outside is by checking the air quality index, or the AQI. True or false? All right, time's almost out. Make sure you get your answer in. Great, a lot of you got it correct. This is true. You can use the AQI to see how the air quality is outside. All right, let's go to the end here. In third place, Genesis R, great job. Ashley A. And Jackie C, great job, everyone. You all got 100%. Thank you so much for paying attention. All right, everyone, that is it for today. Thank you again for joining us. We hope you enjoyed our WHAM presentation and learned something new about air pollution and how you can take action to fight against air pollution and help clean the airs in your communities. To all the teachers here today, a participation survey will pop up on your screen once the webinar has ended, where you can provide feedback for today's presentation. As a reminder, a random teacher will be selected to win $50, so it's really important for you to fill out that survey so we can determine the winner. Thank you again for joining us.